is doing well. There is a tornado warning where we are in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but fingers crossed, no tornado is going to touch down. All right. Make sure you guys, whoever's watching, make sure you can hear me. Just put a thumbs up in the chat. You guys can ask me anything you like, anything that has to do with dogs and stuff like that. Okay, so I might as well start off by saying we're going to start our first ever group class, and we are going to allow dogs that have not been trained by me. In the past, it's only been dogs that's trained with me, but we are opening it up to the public. Only thing we require is a prong collar. The way that you sign up is if you go to my page, scroll down, you will see the event created. You can go online, and I got a few spots left, so you can go online and sign up if you like. But it is on my Facebook if you'd like to join class. This is also for past clients too. It's not just for new clients. If you are a past client of mine, and let's say you got a new dog, or you want to put your other dog back that I have worked with into the class, that's fine too. Just let me know. All right. So I made a video on YouTube earlier today, and I want to expand on that. And the title of the video was why your dog is aggressive, why your dog acts aggressive. And I went deep into what we've created as a culture when it comes to how we deal with our dogs. Because I do believe that most people treat their dogs as if they are a human. And they automatically, even more so than a human, they automatically feel bad for the dog. And then, based on bad feelings, the dog ends up having too much access, too much freedom too soon because we feel bad. Whether that be why we have to keep them in a crate, whether that be why the dog is acting out. We make excuses. A lot of the clients that I talk to will say he was abused, he or she was abused, he or she was kept in a crate for 24 hours, he or she was a bait dog. And none of that stuff matters. The past does not matter to dogs. It does, but it shouldn't. It does, we should keep it in mind, but we don't treat them as if the past matters. If you treat a dog as if they are something special and you don't treat them like a dog, they will treat you like a dog. Okay, so anybody who is watching, you guys feel free to ask any question you like. Interrupt me at any time. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking. Okay, so back to, again, we have a culture of the dog is is a human, which means the dog is in beds, couches, everything. Okay, we got a question coming in. I will circle back to that little rant. Okay. Ivory asks, advice on training 2 large dogs on a double leash. Train one dog on one leash first, then train the other dog on the other leash, and then bring them together once they know how to walk with you. So I'd train one dog on my left side to heel well, and then I would train the other dog to heel well on my right side. And then you bring them together once they know how to heel correctly. Yeah, you're going to have to work with them individually. That's the best way. Sometimes dogs will feed off of each other, and you have to kind of figure out that they work better alone. Got to get them under control first. If I have two dogs that come to my board and train, I'm definitely working with one dog uh, at a time. Put that dog up, take the other dog out, work with this dog, then you bring them together. It's almost too much to ask to try and get them to be able to focus when they're around each other, especially if they feed off of each other. So, um, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to train individual, bring them together. Once they have some good skills individually, bringing them together, and they'll still have those same skills. I was able to walk, I don't know, up to 9, 10 dogs at a time, but each dog was worked with individually first, and then we brought them all together. So, hope that helps, Ivory. Uh, Feel free to ask another question. You are not subject to just one question. Those of you who are watching, though, again, we just had some more join in. Please feel free to ask me as many questions as you like. We're here till about 5:30. Okay. So back to the rant. Listen, guys, we do have to acknowledge. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but we do have to acknowledge that dogs are having way too much access too soon. When I was growing up, there still was dog houses, there still was kennels, there still was such a thing that the dog stayed in the garage until they matured enough to come in the house. 4 or 5 years old, and that's just the reality. It's just what we did. Do I recommend that now? I don't recommend it. I want people to think different though, um, because many of my well-off clients, they have a separate kennel for their dog. And I started to think, is it healthier for dogs to have that separation until they mature? Why is the reason why they are up our butts all day long? And most of the time, if your dog is up your butt, then they are being overly territorial and they are barking at everything and they are begging for food and they are on couches and beds and crazy at the door. Um, all these things have everything to do with too much freedom too soon. We as a culture think that the dog shouldn't necessarily be in the crate and the dog should be out where we are at all times with everyone. Now, dogs can get that way, but when you're dealing with a young dog, especially any kind of working dog, you may want to refrain from giving that dog too much freedom too soon. My friend who just went home with their puppy asked when the dog can be free roaming of the house, and I said you should bank on the dog being in their crate until about 11 months. Some dogs mature really slowly, so even more than 10, 11 months. Some dogs mature pretty fast. But the ones that don't, again, need a crate. And then you have to expose them to the things that they're going to be exposed to in a crate so that they can safely get used to it and not become fearful of it. If they have too much freedom of it, then too much freedom, then they are not, and they're not ready for it, they will become fearful of strangers, of other dogs, of this and that. So we have to be very careful when we're raising our dogs, what we are exposing them to, and how we're doing that. Okay, got another question here. Okay, Carissa says, when our pup was young and scared of something, we taught it to touch the object it was scared of, and it worked. Now he will touch when he is not only scared, but mad, frustrated, excited, walking around, knocking over things and tipping things when he doesn't get his way. He does in place. He goes in place when he does this. But how do we break the habit now? Um, well, the first approach would have been to not teach him how to touch. See, many people think that we have to teach our dogs to become less fearful of something in a way that you have to give them something to do. You don't have to give them something to do to teach them. You just have to hang around it long enough for them to get bored. That's the best way. That's exposure. Getting your dog to get used to something via telling them or showing them what it is, and then also on the back end, telling them no if they do something incorrect, like the vacuum. If I take out my vacuum, the only thing that I'm going to tell my dog is no or go away. I wouldn't even say go away. The optimum way is to just tell the dog no when it tries to bite the vacuum. And then allow the dog to either accept your pressure as a means to cope, or um, they just get tired and exhausted of it and they go away on their own. But again, too many times we want to obedience them out of fear, and sometimes that's that would be my second approach. My first approach would be to just hang out and then give no's, because they're really good at responding to no, and that's it. Not good boy, no treats. It's not natural to them. What's natural to them is no, and that's it. Okay, so back to your question, how do you get them to not do that? How do you get them to not walk around knocking things over and tipping things when he doesn't get his way? Um, put pressure on him for that too. Tell him no, don't do that. Knock it off. Um, everything's about pressure with dogs, okay? And depending on what kind of dog you have, will depend on how much pressure you have to put on them. But I always go back to and refer back to what dogs do to each other. Once again, they do tell each other no in the form of posturing, eye contact, stillness, growling, barking, and biting. And then that's it. They don't say good boy, good girl. They don't give treats, none of that. So again, that's what I would consider as unnatural. You're just banking on their appetite. Not to say it's a bad thing, but I want you guys to understand that dogs deal with no very naturally, because no is a bark. Okay, it's a type of bark. It's a type of pressure. And so that's always my first go-to. No. And if my no doesn't work, then I have to add a training tool to help the dog understand what no is. All right? It's like a leash or any kind of collar, training collar. But yeah, sounds like he probably needs to take you just a little bit more seriously. That could help too. So you could, again, just add pressure to that situation when he decides to try and knock over things. Yeah. So, anyway, thanks for your question, Carissa. Feel free to ask another one, by the way. Hope that helps. But it's pretty simple. Okay? Okay. So, back to again, what we created as culture, and I think it's really been amplified by Facebook. People don't even know what dogs' needs are, and they don't even know how to take care of a dog because Facebook only shows cute, cuddly, pictures, and then everyone gets envy and wants to get a dog. But we have to understand that a dog is a dog, not a human. And if you treat a dog like a human, it will treat you like a dog. Dogs should be able to tell the difference on how they act between a dog and a human. Humans should be something that they very much so respect, especially if you want to have a dog that never gets aggressive and that never thinks it's okay to get aggressive. We have to teach them how to respect humans. not just dogs, but humans, and respect, which means the dogs can get along with non-dog people too, because not everyone is a dog person, and you should respect that. Some people who are absolutely afraid of dogs, it's not their fault, and it's it's they don't want a dog in their face jumping and barking and all that good stuff. So teach your dog to be respectful to the whole spectrum of humans, from the ones that don't like dogs to the ones who really like dogs. And I would say the ones who don't like dogs are better for dogs than the people who really must touch, cuddle, make out with your dog. Those people are repulsive to me. I don't want them around my dogs. I'd rather have people who don't give a darn about my dogs around my dogs, because that's what a dog really needs and wants. When people bring me their dog, I act like one of those people that don't even acknowledge the dog. And as a result, the dog feels safer with me quicker, because I'm not in their face putting pressure on them. All those people who must touch your dog and all the people who must love on their dog, that's unwanted pressure to a lot of dogs. You got to make sure that dog comes up to you and says, "Scratch my ass." Otherwise, I'm not touching you. You don't want to look like you don't want to be touched, and I respect you. See, that's the other thing. Everyone gets caught up in wanting to touch the dog, that they don't even give a darn about what the dog would want. If dog's ears backing up from you, it doesn't want to be touched. Leave it alone. Respect the dog. Yeah, I'd much rather have people around my dog that don't care about dogs. That's how I know my dogs are going to be good with them. Not looking to, not looking at them as something that they could take advantage of. That's what a lot of dogs do. They look at people and strangers as something they can take advantage of, especially if the ones that are the dog lovers. You're going to you're going to touch me anytime I want to be touched, and you give me a treat anytime I want to be treated. That's not good for dogs. It's not good. It's spoiled. And that's how you create some crazy stuff. So anyway, those of you who just joined in, please feel free to ask any question you like about dog behavior or dog training. And if interested, sign up for my class. People get so offended when you say leave the dog alone. It's not a stuffed animal. Yeah, those people can. Yeah. Yeah, I keep my dogs away from people like that are obnoxious about that. First of all, you better ask me before you touch my dog, or else I'm gonna advocate for my dog, man. I'm gonna say, hey, I don't even care. I have golden retrievers too, so they're good with people, but it still creates unwanted behavior for me. Let's say I do let everyone touch my dog. Well, now again, you're creating association that, oh God, here comes another person, they're going to come touch me. And then the dog gets all crazy because you allow the dog to be touched every time. But it's not just happiness either. A lot of people get this behavior mistaken. If you have a dog who's reactive every time they see someone happily, that's not necessarily just coming from a place of happiness. It's also coming from a place of insecurity and necessity. If the dog gets overly excited about seeing people, you have created a anticipation of what humans are, which is wrong, because some dogs, especially our working breeds, our cattle dogs, our shepherds, those dogs are going to, at around 10 months, say, "Row, I don't want you around me. Back up." Because as they were puppies, they were backing up, and you didn't read the signs right, so you're just like, yeah, this is socialization, let them meet 100 people. Nope, that's not how you do it. It's quality over quantity. You don't touch my dog. If you touch my dog, I have to If you want to pet my dog, I have to bring my dog to calmness because I want to make sure my dog thinks of people as something not to get crazy over, but to just be balanced with and around. And so, um, yeah, it's just important that you build the right association with your dog in relation to what other dogs are, what other kids are, what other people are. And for the most part, sometimes you may have to hide your dog from certain people, certain dogs, and then certain kids too. Yeah. All right, Pat says, I was walking Rocky recently, and a large lab came running up from behind us. He got his head under Rocky's head, and the hair on his back was raised along. It was very scary. What should I do? You should carry something so that that dog can learn not to just come up to dogs randomly and invade their space. I like the dog you don't to start off with, but you can carry a bottle of water, a spray bottle, or I mean, some people go as far as using mace, carrying mace, but start with the non, you know, the the stuff that's a little bit less adversive. Hey Pat, did you know I'm having class? You and Rocky should come. Starts next week, Thursday. 6 weeks. Come bring him. He'd be perfect. All right. Um. So yeah, that's that. Oh, the other thing is this too. Remember this. It's super important for people to know this too. At any time, no matter how old your dog is, it's advantageous that your dog stay used to being in a crate. The crate is a training tool, and it will make your life easier if you use it the right way. Okay, we got another question in. Joey is becoming very clingy than ever before. I come home from work and he doesn't leave my side. He is home with Eric during the day. Any ideas to have him stay busy without me? Yeah, you're going to have to ask for some space when you get there. He knows that him being by you, that he can get you to do something too much for him, which is why he stays by you. If a dog knows that you're not going to give him anything, and you may, matter of fact, tell him to go somewhere else, he will leave it. He will leave you alone. But he doesn't think it's worth it to leave you alone because there's something between you two where he knows that he can get you to do what he wants you to do. You too, Mary, should join the class. Did you know I got group class every Wednesday? We're going to start next week Wednesday. Joey would be great to be in that class as well. The way you guys sign up is it's on my Facebook page, and there's an event created. Go down there and you can find the details of that class. But he'd be a good guy, a good dog to be in the class as well. Okay. Let's see. The lab's hair was on end. Took forever for the owner to show up and pull him off. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Sorry about that. That sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, you got to get loose dogs to stay the heck away from you. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard if you're living in a neighborhood with dogs. That's also unnatural, in my opinion, to dogs as well. But hey, what are you gonna do? But you get the dog you don't, and you will press the button, and the dog you don't will go ah, and most dogs will go phew, flying the other way. Pretty simple. Keeps your dog safe. And it also teaches that dog to not be so obnoxious about just going up to other dogs. So it's kind of a win-win for you and the dog. The dog must respect people walking their dogs. And you might teach this dog a lesson. Not to, for one, it's not safe out there to just be going up to dogs. You could really get someone hurt. And for two, stay the heck away from my dog. You know, your dog is counting on you when it's on leash to protect him or her. And you must do so at all costs. You wouldn't let a strange dog come up to your child. I hope not. So keep that in mind, guys. Don't let strange dogs. I don't ever meet dogs on leash when I'm out. No, we're not doing that. That could cause chaos, and that can also ruin the trust I've built between between me and the dog I'm walking. I have to trust. They have to trust me. Trust me. I will leave a link in the description, but you can just Google it on Amazon. Google it on Amazon. You can Google it, or you can go to Amazon and type in doggy don't, and it comes right up. It's the sound device that goes really loud, and it works well for a lot of different behaviors too. Sometimes it's been known to break up a dog fight. Sometimes it can break, it can help with barking, it can help with jumping, it can help with counter surfing. It can help with a lot of stuff. So I encourage you guys to check it out. All right, so keeping it moving. Yeah, you guys, I'm just seeing a lot of dogs that are not maturing the way that they should be. I have a 5-year-old Saint Bernard who should be okay with the things of life, right? Everything that you see. If your dog is 5 years old and still struggling with anything for that matter, then you have to ask yourself, is the dog independent enough from me? Because I think that dogs are way too dependent on us, which means they're always up their butt. They're always following us around the house. And when you allow a dog to be so clingy, then they become selfish of things that can get in the way of that. So every aggressive dog follows their owner around the house. And they bark and they jump. A lot of pushy behavior. It's all pushy behavior coming from insecurity and or lack of leadership. And if you tell the dog to mind your business, you're just putting up a healthy boundary. But what that boundary does is gives them independence, but it also makes them more friendly in general. You want to build a dog that's not just friendly with you, but also friendly with your family and your friends and the community. So you can take your dog places. If your dog's super reactive and afraid of these things, the outside world, then they're really ignorant and small-minded and immature, and and it's kind of a selfish relationship, because again, most aggressive dogs become selfish of their owner, so they protect their owner even from another person living in the house. I've got plenty of people who can't even hug without their dog being in between them. That's obnoxious. It's like, go away. I'm trying to enjoy my partner. But sometimes some people like that. They enjoy that. They get satisfaction from the dog claiming one or the other. Also, here's the biggest factor too. Someone in the house is a complete pushover for the dog. And men, I gotta tell you, men, it's usually the men who are soft on holding the dog accountable. You guys try to be too friendly too soon. You're not buddies. You can't be When you're raising a dog, you kind of have to act like you're raising a child, in the sense where if you're too friendly with the child or the dog, they will take advantage. It's not necessarily a friendship at the moment, because the dog has growing up to do. It has learning to do. So they must take you seriously, which means they must look at you as a leader and not someone they can train themselves. Because a lot of y'all out here are trained. They bark, you go do something for them. They jump on you, you do something for them. They come up with their toy begging for attention, you do something for them. They bark, you go let them outside. Everything that they want, they can do if they're pushy. And that's not right. They don't trust you. They just look to you as something that they can get something from, whether that be belly rubs or all the things that I mentioned before. But you got a job to do. If you're raising a dog, you have to teach them how to be okay with the world. It just helps them long term. Think about it like this: a dog who can be adjusted to all the things that the world brings and also listen to you when you say no can go anywhere pretty much that you go, which means the dog has more access to experiences. But some dogs need more guidance to get to that point. So I like to start off with a lot of control when they're young, and then really build off of that control. They must listen to you. You must be able to talk them out of a panic. Some dogs panic over little stupid things. I had a puppy that, one of my puppies that left a little late, um, would panic when they first got on leash, and that's normal because it's a leash, and what the heck is this? And I was just going all over the place, right? But we worked through it, and I said, this leash, I basically was telling the dog, this leash is something that is going to be there. Get used to it. It's very important that you be able to walk on leash with your new owners. And again, some dogs even panic over something like a treadmill or a vacuum or whatever, doesn't matter. Some dogs don't even like the broom. Oh my God, if you have a dog who's attacking the broom, Jesus Christ, it's crazy. All right, guys, got some new viewers. So please feel free to ask as many questions as you like. You're not just subject to one. Ask me anything you like, doesn't matter. So yeah, we have to make sure our dogs are mature by the time they're 5 years old. A 5-year-old immature dog is an extra dangerous dog, because not only are they set in their ways, but they're extra stubborn to now go back. Because I basically, when I bring dogs in, I have to take them back to puppyhood, and then we start from there. So I take them back from puppyhood. I take all their choices away, and I make them calm before they make a bad choice. If you bring the dog back to calmness, before they make a bad choice, something as simple as this: this is a bad choice. When I bring the dog out of the crate, I sit the dog, and we will stay there until they calm down. We're not moving forward if I just say sit and their butt is down. It doesn't work for a lot of stubborn dogs. You have to work through their, okay, I'm done, now I'm going. Right? They have to sort of accept that they're sitting and staying before we move forward. A bad choice for a reactive dog would be to assume anything is okay. So that's what I do when I bring dogs to my place, is I'm taking away all of the decisions that they assume they can do, even down to water. If I'm pouring water and a dog just goes right for it, I'm going, nope, you're going to wait until I fill up the water. For one, I don't want to pour water on your head, but for two, just don't assume that anything that I put down for you, you can right away go for. There's a lot of dogs that come to me And even if I put something new in my hand, they must investigate what's in my hand. And it's like, no, that's obnoxious. Don't just assume that you can just come up to my hand if I have something new in my hand. Okay, so I'm evaluating. That's a harmful one, obviously, but I'm evaluating all these behaviors um, that are pushy behaviors, and I'm getting the dog to learn that all of that is not necessary. And as a matter of fact, it's very healthy for a dog to look back and pause before going right in and assuming that this person wants to be jumped on, this person wants to have a nose all in their stuff, just being obnoxious. But you build a dog that way if the dog has too much freedom without enough guidance. So you'll see, day one, my training class is going to be a little hectic because all dogs are different and new, and it's going to be new to the dogs. And then we're going to compare the first 3 or 4 minutes to the last class, and you're going to see a big improvement. So all right, looks like we got a little question going. Joey's still biting my ankles and pulling when he walks me. He doesn't with Eric. I need to make him listen. He also has no manners. Can he still be trained at 4 years old? Of course he can. Bring him to that class and we will work that out. That'll be perfect. It's going to be great. Okay. What did you just say? Let's see. Hi, I was walking Rocky and a large lab came up running loose up from behind us. It got its face up under Rocky's head and all the hair on its back was raised up. I felt like both dogs were starting to posture. Finally, the owner showed up and pulled his dog away. I was so scared I had no idea to do what was I supposed to do. Okay, I answered this question. This question was on YouTube, but get a doggy don't, Pat. Start carrying a doggy don't and get that big, obnoxious lab the heck away from your dog. Because again, every single time you allow a dog to come up to your dog while you're walking, while they're on leash, it's a bad situation. It can be a bad situation. When your dog is on leash, you got to be extra protective. They cannot go away. So it's kind of like they're in a corner and they're counting on you, which is why some dogs are super reactive on leash and they're not that reactive on leash. On leash is a different dynamic. There's dogs that can get along with other dogs all day long at the dog daycare, but as soon as you leash them up, they turn into a different dog and they go after humans and they go after other dogs. Why? It's the leash. You have to be able to give them structure on the walk, on the leash, so that they know how to act on the leash. But you also, like we've been saying, got to keep dogs away from them. You got to keep that unwanted pressure. You got to keep that. You got to diminish the anticipation of, here's another dog. This dog might come up to me. Here's a person. This dog might come up. This person might come up to me. So, yeah, we have to be careful with dogs on leash. Have to really be careful. Okay. But yeah, Pat, thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another. Yeah, they're just like kids, man. It's to a certain degree. Like they just need. I'm gonna put a link in the description once we're off here. I'm gonna put a link in the description of what a doggy don't is, but you can literally type doggy don't in Amazon and it'll pull it up for you. It's about $50 last time I checked, but make sure you get the rechargeable one, which sort of looks like it's purple. I think it has a purple colored. It's white and purple, so that you don't have to keep buying batteries for the other doggy don't, which is the blue one. So get the purple one. All right, those of you who are just joining in, please feel free to ask as many questions as you like about dog behavior or dog training. And also sign up for my class if you're in the Green Bay, Appleton, or anywhere within, I guess a decent drive, 30, 45 minutes. Come join my class starting next week. Details on my Facebook page and it's an event, so you can sign up right through there. So far, we've got some folks signed up, and it's going to be a good one. Yep. I'm also having a puppy class too, but that I haven't created just yet. All right, folks. Well, do I have any further questions? Any last questions that you guys want to talk about? Because I can just keep going about, just regular stuff, man. I've got a Saint Bernard now, 5-year-old Saint Bernard who's child aggressive. I've got a human reactive and dog reactive shepherd mix. And then I also have what I think got to be some sort of, looks like a shepherd Great Dane mix. And he is just there for just general obedience. But the approach is the same no matter what kind of dog you are. I don't deviate much from the individual dog. The Saint Bernard is, again, just a big baby, which is dangerous to have a big baby in your home. He's big. And he thinks that, he can treat humans a certain way. This is really dangerous. The dog could be put down if it bites again. We don't want bites. We are living with predators, so we have to take that into account. We have to treat them like dogs. We have to make sure they're under our leadership. I don't care how you draw it up. And they thrive under leadership. They're more secure. They're more quiet. They're more calm. And you can do more things with a dog who really respects humans and does not fear dogs. Wouldn't that be good to be able to bring your dog to some restaurants, or if you're going to Home Depot to pick something up, you can go to Home Depot. The world should also enjoy your dogs, not just you. It's again just more advantageous for the relationship, but you may have to push the baby away. Okay, we got a question here. Do you feel like knowing the breeds that you or your dog is mixed with is helpful for knowing how to work them out? We know Odin is part Saint Bernard, but did send in to see what else it is. Yeah, breed matters, for sure. Breed matters. The German Shepherd's needs are going to be slightly different than, let's say, a Shih Tzu's needs. The Great Dane's needs are going to be a little bit different than the Lab. Yes, breed does matter for sure. Breed matters, even gender, even sex matters. Male or female. Female is a little bit easier, less stubborn, even though there's some stubborn females out there. In general, you just got to give the female dog a good consequence once, where sometimes males may have to do a couple 2-3 times. The stubborn male versus the stubborn female, the male's going to be a little bit tougher to work with. That's just my experience. So, dog matching too is really important. If you got multiple dogs, you can't just get the dog to get along. I mean, if you want it to be an easy transition, you must know your own dog. You must know that, 2 assertive dogs more times than not are going to butt heads. So you kind of want to Make sure their energies are a little opposite, complementary to each other. Yeah, that part. So anyway, I'm gonna send an email about my training class too, to make sure anyone and everyone has access to it. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm excited about it. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna make sure we see the progress too. Day one is probably gonna be a bunch of nothing though. I'm gonna tell you that, because we don't move forward, we don't do much until we get calmness. And so once we reach calmness with everyone, then we can do some stuff. But I want my owners to be able to get their dog to become very calm very quickly. And if, like most owners, if you follow your dog, say you're on leash, dog goes this way to go sniff, you follow the dog, then the dog is walking you. You follow this way, this way. First thing I tell owners when they bring the dog out of the car, don't let the dog move you. That's step number one. If you have a human reactive dog, is to get the dog to not be able to dictate where you go and when you stop, because you're just feeding into their insecurity. If a dog has to get out the car and right away go sniff, pee, and poop, then you have an insecure dog, and you shouldn't have let him be insecure. That's damaging. So I tell him to stay still, don't move. And then the dog looks at me and sees me. I'm not acknowledging him at all. I'm talking to the owner. Then I see the dog get a little bored. Then we get a little bit closer. Then to see the dog get a little bored. Then we get a little closer. Then I grab the leash. And the owners are like, I'm so surprised he didn't react. I'm so surprised he didn't bark or bite you. And it's because I don't care if the dog's, I'm not acknowledging the dog at all. I'm not giving in to the dog's anticipation at all. Dog is anticipating me coming up to him and trying to get along with it like vets do. It's like, act like the dog's not there. But also, the owner has to have some sort of control, right? That's where the don't move me comes in. Then the dog can get along with most people. But yeah, guys, we just got to take it slower with them. It's okay to leave the dog in the crate when you have certain guests over. It's actually good for them. Sometimes, again, too much too soon will allow your dog to be obnoxious to people, because people aren't going to necessarily say, go away from me, get away, if they don't want your dog around. So you do it for them. Get them out of there. Tell them to go lay down in their bed. Don't let them follow you around the house either, or your guests. All right. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have any final questions, I'm going to hop off, and I'm going to get to getting that email out. But you guys know, anytime you need any help, you can reach out, and we'll help you as best we can. But yeah, I'm going to see how these classes go. This might be something that is permanent, because a lot of people that don't necessarily want to do the board and train still can get something out of it, eh? Still can get some training. So those people are going to more than likely get to my class, and I'm excited about that. I want to help everyone. So we'll see how it goes. And those of you who sign up, we'll see you next Wednesday. It's going to be awesome. All right, you guys. Take care. Happy Wednesday. We'll see you next one. We'll see you in the next one.